United in the Europa League. Europa League. Me tell them one time and we say Europa League.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. We're back for a press conference reaction, video stream, whatever you want to call it, depending on when you're watching it, how you're watching it, all that fun stuff. Sevilla, Manchester United, Europa League quarterfinals, second leg. It's currently level 2-2. There's a lot going on. Apologies for being a bit late. I am burdened by when I received the footage. This press conference today has been something else, hasn't it? Certainly. It was meant to happen at 6:45 British summertime over here. Then it got delayed by like half an hour because the Manchester United flight was late landing in Seville, and then that meant that the actual coverage of it on either the Manchester United app or the website, that didn't happen, so you couldn't make any notes on it. So when the footage did come over, obviously you've got to then edit it to clip it up into clips for this stream, but you don't have any notes, so you have to listen to it at the same time. There's been a lot going on. My goodness me, there's a lot going on, but we're here right now. Certainly. How are you all doing? Hope you're having a good evening, morning, day, wherever you are, depending on where you are in the world. So let me know how you're watching, where you're watching from, all that fun stuff. We are going to get into all of the questions, the response. We've got clips, footage, reaction, all that fun stuff. Also right now, as a Champions League game going on at the moment with Bayern Munich and Manchester City. Ugh, disgusting. I've just seen Erling Haaland miss the penalty as well, skied it over the bar. I didn't even know if it was a penalty. I haven't even been watching. I was doing like a Tasmanian devil here at the editing and putting stuff together. It's been a craziness. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. How are you all doing? Animals coming very strong from the start. Says backs De Gea with lies, talking about claiming and blocking crosses. Has he ever done that? Owen always De Gea standing. Well, you've come in very, very strong, Animal. And I think the name is fitting because you are one, certainly. Where are your manners? Disgusting, disgrace. And this is what I was saying before, and we're going to get to this because Flex asked a brilliant question to Eriksen about David De Gea and about what's more important when it comes to a goalkeeper, saving shots or distribution. And I remember saying this before about this whole De Gea conversation that, you know, you can say what you want and people say, yeah, but I back Erik Ten Hag. And when Ten Hag backs the goalkeeper, what's the reaction going to be? Well, he's lying. Well, what's he going to say? All that kind of stuff. We're going to get into it, so don't you worry about that. Let's get to some clips. Let's get to reaction straight away. The first one was about all of the players traveling. Now, if you haven't seen today, obviously we've had a lot of injuries recently, but plenty of positivity when it comes to returns from injuries, people coming back. Marcus Rashford travelled, Marcel Sabitzer travelled, Luke Shaw travelled, Terrell Malacia travelled. They all made it with the squad. A couple of people didn't. Scott McTominay, Raphael Varane not included, but certainly 4 players there that have been question marks over their heads, certainly. So real positive news about them. Erik Ten Hag was asked about the travellers that have been recovering from injury, and are they all available to be involved, and could they potentially start? Here's what Ten Hag had to say.
Available, because that's why they are in the airplane. But I will take my decisions tomorrow. Today we are training. We'll see what the reaction is, and then tomorrow we will take a decision.
Is Luke Shaw one that you'll have to make a particular decision on, given the issues you have in central defence on Sunday?
We have to, for all, we have in particular take decisions.
So Ten Hag playing at coy, but certainly, again, positive news, really positive news. I think, you know, most people, certainly I did, I expected Rashford to be involved. So when the news came out earlier today that he was training with the team and he was travelling, I thought, oh, well, that's not particularly surprising. I think that when the initial news came out that he had a knock and he was going to miss a couple of games, the feeling was that he was going to probably be back for the Sevilla game, certainly the Brighton game. My theory was heading into the game last week that they had hoped to sort of wrap him up in cotton wool and bring him back for the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton. Considering what happened in that game, they maybe had to bring him back maybe a little bit early. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he starts tomorrow. Sabitzer, they did say Sunday, didn't they, when he didn't have any involvement in that game because he pulled up in the warm-up, that it was more precautionary. So he's going to be really needed, and I think Sabitzer will start tomorrow. I think he will go with a midfield of Casemiro, Eriksen and Sabitzer, which obviously Bruno Fernandes is a massive miss, but I like that. That seems relatively solid to me. Luke Shaw is the interesting one. It was Dharmesh Sheth with the questions there. And I think Luke Shaw is a curious one. I don't suspect he would start tomorrow. I don't think he will. And I don't think it's the right call for him to start. He's more important to start on Sunday for me at Wembley. I think that centre-back pairing of, considering Harry Maguire's going to be suspended for that game, that centre-back pairing of, let's be honest, most likely Lindelof and Shaw. Shaw, we can't risk Shaw having a relapse of an injury tomorrow. We just cannot risk that. So I think most likely it will be Maguire and Lindelof that start tomorrow. When it comes to the others, Rashford starting's a curious one. Do we think Rashford starts? That is the question for the live chat. Do we think Rashford starts tomorrow? I mean, he could go sort of Sancho, Sabitzer, Anthony, Martial, and then 45 minutes in, if it's not working out how he wants it to work out, then start Rashford, maybe. Then bring Rashford on, I suppose. That is a real... I don't think he will. That's my feeling about it. But the same breath, I'm not going to be shocked if he starts him and doesn't play the full game. I won't be shocked with that either. So that one, I think that one's kind of up in the air. But I'd be really surprised if Luke Shaw starts. I think Sabitzer will start. As far as Malacia, to be honest, I think both fullbacks did well at the weekend. So I wouldn't say there's a need to rush him back, to be honest with you. So I think it'll probably be Wan-Bissaka on the right and Dalot once again on the left. That's my feeling. That's my feeling on it. But again, we'll wait and see. Next question was about Marcus Rashford. And Ten Hag was asked, are you surprised about the speed in which he's recovered and how quickly he's come back from the injury? And Ten Hag didn't answer that one, because you have to know, when you ask Ten Hag 2 questions in one, he will answer the end. He won't answer the first bit. So he was asked, were you surprised about how quickly Rashford recovered? And he just didn't really answer that one. He then, Christian Eriksen was then asked, how important is it to progress in this competition? And Ten Hag and Eriksen, they answered both.
Yeah, as I said, all the players, you want to always keep all the players fit. So it's an objective, besides, of course, the main objective, win.
Yeah, no, I think I just said it. We want to progress. We want to win the game, and then we'll take it.
So there you go. You ask a simple question, you're going to get a simple response. How important is it to progress? It's very important, obviously. It's very important to progress. Who would have thought it, guys? How important is it to progress in the Europa League? No, we want to go out. We want to go out of the competition. That's we gave up. Of course, it's important to progress. You want to win trophies. You want to win silverware. Erik ten Hag has displayed a mentality this season, hasn't he? He wants to win every game. It's not even a cliche when it comes to Ten Hag. Legitimately, he wants to play every single game. He'll play the strongest team really he possibly can in every single game, and he wants to win every single competition. Make no mistake, we are in it's Wednesday, the 19th of April. Tomorrow is the 20th of April, 420. I don't know what that means. Nevertheless, we are still on the precipice of a very, very successful season. We can get in the top 4. We've already won 1 trophy. There's 2 still up for grabs. A Europa League trophy and an FA Cup triumph. If we manage to get all 3 plus top 4, oh my goodness me. That would be a hugely successful season. So of course it's important to to progress in a competition that you want to win in the latter stages. The third question put to Ten Hag was, as I mentioned, about Marcus Rashford and his recovery. And the question was put to him, how many training sessions has he had? And Ten Hag shared the details on Rashford's recovery.
He had 1 session team, but he had some sessions before individually.
So there you go. Very short response. It was that he has had 1 session with the team and some sessions individually. That would lead me once again. I'm leaning into that he probably won't start. I feel like that's probably the most likely outcome. I feel like Rashford will be. And by the way, V Cobra says sound of the clips is a bit off. Yeah, basically, I noticed the same thing. You would have thought at a press conference that they would have managed the acoustics properly, but with the mics being really close together, by all accounts, there was a lot of reverb. So when we were processing it, we had to do a lot of like noise elimination. So it gets better. Don't worry. That's just on a couple of them. That is the case. But yeah, the acoustics on some of them were not great. But yes, when it comes to Rashford, he has had one training session with the group and a couple of individual ones, which I'm leaning into. Feeling that he probably won't start because of that, but I do think he'll play a part tomorrow. Look, to be honest, hopefully, if the game's over by half-time, and there's no reason to say it shouldn't be, because Sevilla are not a great side. I know it's away from home, and I know they've got football heritage, but still, they're not a great side. There's a scenario where Rashford doesn't even get involved, doesn't even get on tomorrow, because he's not needed. And I think the players that we've still got are good enough, so why not? Why not? Next question was to Christian Eriksen. Well, actually, no, it was about Christian Eriksen, excuse me. My notes are shocking. It was to Ten Hag saying that obviously this game's got so much riding on it. How important is Christian Eriksen in this setting in terms of keeping the ball and keeping composure in the midfield? Something that I have been speaking quite a lot about recently, actually, saying that in these big away games, we've missed someone like Eriksen who has the ability to put his foot on the ball, calm things down, soak up pressure, and to sometimes take the sting out of the game. Here's what Ten Hag had to say about his Danish midfielder.
Yes, definitely. His abilities, what you say, reading the game, finding the positions, coaching, also composure on the ball, final pass. Yeah, definitely. He's very important for us, and experience in Europe, Premier League games in Europe, playing big games. Yeah, that is tomorrow definitely is that the item. Yeah.
Christian Eriksen's always important. Christian Eriksen is vital to Manchester United, not just in this game, but for the remainder of the season. As we've entered the business end of the season, as Ten Hag said, points get more expensive, and this is the time of the season which you win trophies. This is what you work to get to. And Christian Eriksen, as I said, I think has been somewhat underappreciated in his absence. There's been all of this fawning over how important Casemiro is, and certainly Casemiro is very important. When Casemiro doesn't play, we don't tend to win. But Christian Eriksen's also massively important because that penalty miss, shocking by Erling Haaland. He's obviously really, really important because no one else in our team can do what he can. And particularly tomorrow, in the absence of Bruno Fernandes, he is going to be vital. I think that's why in the summer, we really do need to look at someone that's of a similar mold to Christian Eriksen because we need more people like that in our squad. So he's going to be really important. Absolutely. He's going to be massively important. And there are going to be points in the game tomorrow, make no mistake, where they're going to be up. The crowd's going to be up. And there's going to be momentum on Sevilla's side. And it's going to take people like Eriksen, like I said, to be able to take the sting out of the game. And that's why he's going to be so important to do it. And also, make no mistake too, he's played in big games, Christian Eriksen. He's got European experience. And he's got, we can laugh at Spurs and all that kind of stuff, but he was part of a successful, for Spurs, they didn't win anything, but a successful Spurs side that actually, went quite far and deep into competitions. He was in the European Cup final team, wasn't he? He's won things with Inter Milan as well. So he's a really important player, a massively important player, and he's going to be vital for us tomorrow, particularly in the absence of Bruno Fernandes. Next question was to Eriksen, and it was this time last season, you were playing for Brentford. Now you're at the biggest club in the world. What does it mean playing at the highest level possible, considering everything that you've been through and possibly winning a European trophy and reaching the Champions League next season? Which I thought was a bit of an odd question, honestly, because yes, obviously he was playing for Brentford last season, but that doesn't define his career. And as I've said this before, what happened to him in Denmark at the in 2021 at Euro 2020, that does not define what's happened to him in his career. If anything, what should define his career is his comeback from it. And to be honest, it's not as if prior to that he hadn't achieved anything. He achieved a lot. And he'd been playing at a high level in Europe for a really, really, really long time. So yes, last season he was playing at Brentford, but that was because of what happened to him, and it was a 6-month thing. He's played a far longer period of time at a far higher and more elite level, honestly. Nevertheless, here was Eriksen's response to the question.
It's a lot of questions in that. No, you're right. Yeah, looking back a year ago, I was dreaming about being where I was today. But back then it was just a dream about being back playing football, and then of course taking step by step and just being the best version of a football player you can be. And I was lucky that at the time manager wanted me to come here. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I did that a year ago. I'm doing it even more now. But of course, to go as far as possible be fun, and where we are now, I mean, ready with a trophy, and then aims for two more, then that'll be good fun.
Indeed, get this trophy and aim for 2 more. There's still more trophies to get. And the follow-up question was, were you confident you could play at this level when you came back? Again, it's one of these obvious answer questions, but here was his response.
I don't know how you do with I think it's a wrong question, because I mean, football is football. Doesn't matter where you play. And for me, it's always been the same. If you play for United or you play for Brentford, you go on a football pitch to play football. So I think it's taking the question into an account that it's just everyone on the pitch is football players.
Again, it's one of those weird questions, isn't it? When it says, "Oh, were you confident, that you could play at this level after what happened to you?" Just watch Christian Eriksen's performance last season for Brentford. He was by far, and again, no disrespect to Brentford, but he was just a class above. He really kept him in the league. In the second half of last season, he was brilliant. He was so good. I remember Brentford came to Old Trafford last season, and I think we beat him 3-0 or something like that. But he was, just by a million miles the best player on the pitch. He was just controlling the game. He was sensational. And you could maybe tell after 5 minutes of his Premier League comeback last season that he could play at the highest level. And we're very, very, very fortunate to have him. Very fortunate to have him at the club. And of course, he can play at any level. Christian Eriksen, and given his style of play as well, I think that he can play until, he's in his 30s now. I think he's got several real positive years ahead of him. I can't say enough good things about Christian Eriksen, and just how important he is understated. I think he's been one of our... Unfortunately, we've made some real good signings this season, and last summer we made some real good signings. Players that really have enhanced the starting 11. Obviously, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, Antony, but Christian Eriksen right up there with some of the fantastic signings we made last summer, and he is so important, and he's going to be so vital in this run-in as well. Next question was to Erik ten Hag, and the question was put to him: have you put some unnecessary pressure on yourself given what happened last week at Old Trafford? Of course, the second half performance, you were 2-0 up and threw it away, scored 2 own goals, was unfortunate, but the game ended how it ended, and it wasn't. And now there's some people worried. And have you put some unnecessary pressure on yourself when you didn't need to, or it could have been avoided? Here's what Ten Hag had to say.
It's clear how the game went. It's a tie about 2 legs. I think we play over 60 minutes quite well, and then the last 30 minutes we dropped the level, and we became passive. It's not acceptable. We know that. And you see what happened when you are playing a game for only 60 minutes. You can't do it. And when you do it, you get punished. So we have to be aware of it. And I think the lesson we spoke about, we have taken the lesson on Sunday. Then you have seen a different Man United. But tomorrow we have to go again.
We have to go again indeed. And I hope that, because I really do believe, honestly, and maybe I'm being naive here, and maybe I'm being silly, and I'm ignoring the football heritage of Sevilla and how many times they've won this competition and their experience in the competition. But I really was not blown away by them. I know that one of their players was in the press conference earlier today, and they were saying if we'd played 10 extra minutes or 15 extra minutes or whatever it was, we'd have scored another goal. And I think he's right, they would have. But that's because they were playing against 10 men. And they didn't score themselves a goal last week. That can't be understated either. And the reason that they had this massive turnaround is because we went down to 10 men, we did take our eye off the ball, and we invited unnecessary pressure on ourselves. I don't think it's because Sevilla played particularly well. I really don't. Again, I was not blown away. I thought they actually reflected how poor they've been in La Liga. So I think if United play their best game tomorrow, or at least play to the standards that we've expected them, I think they'll be fairly comfortable, honestly, against Sevilla tomorrow. I really do. But the important thing is that if we do have a similar performance like we had in the first half last week, we can't do what we did last week in the second half. We can't take our foot off the gas. We can't become passive like Ten Hag said. And that is where I do say, look, you make your own luck. You make your own luck, and you're ultimately responsible for inviting that pressure on yourself. Ten Hag said it in the press conference the day after. He said, that we got involved in unnecessary battles. We sort of allowed them to get a bit of a foothold back in the game. And tomorrow we can't allow them to do that. Even more so because This time, if we do give them that inch, the crowd will really, they'll jump on it, and they'll jump on the players. So they need to be clinical. They need to be ruthless. And they just need to play their game. Because I really do believe if they just play their game tomorrow, even with missing Martinez and Varane, I still feel there's enough. Like I did against Forest, I still feel there's enough in that starting 11, whoever it may be, to get the job done. I still think we'll get chances. We just need to be clinical. I don't think we'll get as many chances as we would get against Forest, but we made chances last week too. So again, I'm positive going into this game. Sunday, that's a different one. That's a different story. But I feel like we've got the better players, we've got the better squad, even with our injuries, and we just need to play our game. And most importantly, and I'm saying this to fans too, don't be scared. Like embrace it. Certainly embrace it. Next question was to Christian Eriksen. Of course, there's that stat talking about him starting alongside Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro every single time they have. They haven't lost a game. I think they've won 13, drawn 2, something like that. Obviously, Eriksen's come back into the team, and he's undefeated with Bruno and Casemiro. Of course, Bruno isn't going to be available tomorrow. He's suspended. But the question was put to Eriksen, what's it like playing with those two?
Yeah, no, also like I said after the game, it's two very good football players, so it's for me easy, and I think for anyone to really fill in the extra gap between them has been easy. So no, it's been good, and like I said, I didn't even know we had that many games without losing, but obviously that's something that in the future when Bruno's not suspended, we wanna keep going.
We want to keep it going, certainly. Hopefully we can keep it going at the weekend, because that's when Bruno Fernandes is going to be back. Fingers crossed Casemiro and Eriksen make it through tomorrow's game without an injury. But to be honest, it's almost no surprise that they have that kind of undefeated record, because you've got 3 top quality players, experienced players that know what they're doing. They're not phased by anything. Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, they're calm, they're composed. They're just top quality footballers, and it's no wonder that they've got that kind of record and they're on the same wavelength, because they're good. I mean, I know that's not great analysis, but it's just that's just what they are. They're good players. It's a phrase you're taught, isn't it, when you're younger and you're playing football? Good players know how to play together. People can talk about chemistry and gelling and all that kind of stuff, and maybe it's true, but ultimately, good football players, they know how to play with each other, and they want to play with good football players, and that's what all 3 of those are. So I'm not surprised that they've got that kind of record, and again, here's hoping they can continue it. Next question was from, I believe it was from Adam from United Stand. Big up Adam, as always. Always got to big up any other fan channel that's in the press conference, because I think it's important to do so. I think it's important that, we recognise the graft, recognise the courage, and recognise the talent, right? That's what it is. I mean, this time last year, an idea of any fan channel, be it ourselves or be it United Stand or Stretford Paddock or whoever it may be, non-traditional media, fan media, whatever you want to call it, being in press conferences asking questions was laughable, let's be honest. So the journey that this medium as a whole, forget channels, just the medium as a whole is on, and now asking questions in major European quarterfinals press conferences and having that kind of, access and getting different kind of questions across is fantastic. So every single time, you know me, I will continue to do it every single time until I'm blue in the face or grey in the ground. And let's hope that last one is quite a while away. Took a bit of sense to turn that. The question was put to Christian Eriksen once again about the relationship between Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. How do they rank in terms of other players he's played with in his career, and how much will United miss Bruno tomorrow?
First question, I think this midfield is one of the best I've been part of. Obviously, I've been earlier in my age a bit further up the pitch, so I was even more of a striker than a midfielder, but still dropping down, of course. But I think midfield-wise is probably one of the best I've been in. Missing Bruno tomorrow. I mean, it'll be when I was away, somebody else had to pick my duties up, and it'll be the same for Bruno tomorrow, who's gonna pick up the gap that he's leaving behind.
Bruno's going to be a big miss. There's no doubt about it. Bruno's going to be a massive miss. He doesn't miss games. I mean, I believe the games he's missed this season haven't been due to injury. They've both been due to suspension. I think he missed the one against Aston Villa again when we lost away. That was suspension, and this one, he doesn't miss games. And because of that, sometimes, unfortunately, with football and with those players that are somewhat lightning rods, people within the own fan base don't like or feel like we're better off without, sometimes you don't know what you've got till you don't have it. And that was the case for Bruno earlier on this season. That's not to say we're going to lose because we don't have Bruno Fernandes tomorrow. But in my opinion, certainly, I believe that it will be noticeable that we don't have Bruno Fernandes. So he's always going to be important. He is, whilst he's not the club captain, the defined captain, and he won't be tomorrow because he's not playing in 2. Even if he was, it would be Maguire with the captain's armband because he's going to start. He's so important. He really is. His consistency, his desire. People can criticize maybe his behavior and his attitude. As he says, that's who he is, and sometimes he has to play on that line, and that's how he's turned into the player that he has. But he's obviously so important, and he's going to be particularly missed tomorrow. But as Eriksen says, just how when he was absent, someone had to fill in for him. It's got to be the same tomorrow. Someone's got to fill in for Christian Eriksen, for Bruno Fernandes, and I would think that would be Sabitzer. Here's hoping he's available enough and fit enough to replace Bruno tomorrow, but. Make no mistake, there is going to be a Bruno-shaped hole in our side. The follow-up question from Adam was, obviously there's been now some talk. I mean, obviously the game's going on at the moment of Bayern Munich versus Manchester City. Currently at 48 minutes, it's 0-0. City still winning 3-0 on aggregate. The expectation is that they're going to go through to the Champions League semi-final. They've got Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-final once again, so the expectation is that they're basically already in the final. There's an expectation too they're going to catch up to Arsenal and maybe win the Premier League. So there's this talk that they could win the treble. It's a very viable situation for them. So the question was put to Erik ten Hag. Has there been any talk about the City treble and potentially Manchester United stopping them?
We think about our games and about winning our games, and we are not thinking or dealing with that. We have to improve our game and win our game in our next game. So we don't go into that we get distracted from issues like that. No, we have to win games. We want to become every game better. And we want to compete with the best. And therefore we have to progress. And we know we have to progress even.
I think that I do believe he's telling the truth when it comes to that. Look, we're not thinking about Manchester City. We're focusing on our own games because that's the right thing to do at the moment. Of course, that's what United have to do. That's all they can do is focus on their own games. The time for can we stop City, that will come later on. And we've got to get there first. We can't stop City winning the Champions League. We can't stop City winning the Premier League. We're not in the Champions League. We've already played them twice this season. So we can't. Now, this is a question. Why is KG calling me? He always does this in the press conferences. I wonder what he wants. Let's have a look. Cross channel. KG, you're live on United View.
Hi, mate.
Yes.
You all right?
You're live on United View.
I know.
Oh, I know you're live at the moment as well.
Yeah, they told me to call you. They said you're live.
Yeah.
And I thought, cross stream.
Yeah.
Cross stream.
Like two blokes at a urinal, cross stream.
Why did you say that?
Because it's funny.
Oh, I've got a new sound, by the way.
Go on.
I've got a new sound. I never expected it.
Hey, that's not new. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, I know, but it's still good. And I got a song as well, but I couldn't even, what do you call it? Anyway, there's another one as well. But I don't know if you heard this one, but it's just when we get angry and stuff. But here we go.
Go on.
It's probably for Fleck as well.
Go on.
Don't provoke me to anger, or else you'll be in danger.
That's what getting it.
So play that again.
It's the words are, don't provoke me to anger, or else you will be in danger. That's how it goes. You're gonna hear it when I'm on a show with you.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That was interesting. That was curious. What do you think of Haaland's miss?
You're talking about one of the. You know me already. I've had a lot to say about it. But I think this goalkeeper, I think it's been disgusting. Some of what they're doing in this game, that referee has got it in for Bayern and Upamecano. I've never seen someone so excited, trigger happy to send the player off. Oh, what's going to happen? Ball in. Oh, no. And the game starts with Choupo-Moting as well. Never saw that one come in.
Have you heard Ten Hag's response to Flex's question?
No, I haven't. What did he say?
So Flex asked Ten Hag, he asked him two questions. Well,
Good.
he
Very smart.
asked Ten Hag one, he asked Eriksen another. Excuse me. And the first one was
Eriksen was there. He must have been so excited.
yeah. And the first one was about what's more important when it comes to a goalkeeper? Is it shot stopping or is it distribution? And Erik ten Hag, the Manchester United manager, said it's about stopping goals. Stopping goals is fundamental. Everyone can have their style, but I think David's a complete goalkeeper. Now you can't see this, right? You can't see this, but the viewers on United View right now will be able to see this. I have a KG GIF on the screen of you doing the zoom in. That was my reaction at the time.
Yeah, because that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcel, all of them mudded.
Yeah.
He said he's got to come. That's mudded. That's from the horse's mouth, literally. Not workhorse.
No.
The real, the head honcho.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
Mudded. You can't. They broke me, blood. I'm broken. That's the words from. That's direct words from Marcel right now. They broke me, blood. I'm broken, fam. And Marcel said that he could play and go for us as well.
Well,
today.
Marcel, I mean, I don't know, guys, if you watched the Red Room this morning, but Marcel he looked like a Force ghost. I don't know what he was doing with the green screen, but he was looking like he was with Obi-Wan and Anakin and Yoda at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he did look like a Force ghost.
He did.
This is brilliant. But again, I'm going to ask the Peachy question. Did Peachy ask about the players? Did he say fitness?
Team news. Team news.
He loves that question.
Team news. Any injuries? Any returns? Any recoveries?
He loves that question. One day, I'm going to go to the presser, and I'm going to ask that question before he does.
Yeah.
He's going to be furious.
I'll tell you what, the day that they go, they sit down, they go, right, this is our pre-match press conference for Manchester United's Premier League game against blah, blah, blah. And first question, KG the comedian. I mean, that would be incredible. Any team news?
Yeah, but I'm going to ask.
Team news, Eric?
Any team news? He won't know what to do with his life. Is he in? Oh,
and also as well, I believe this is Fleck has just commented. We're still employed, which is get in. That's said
good.
That's a good start. He said Cam said he's lying like he was with Ronaldo in presses. Just move the goalpost again.
Oh no, Haaland, no, Jan Sommer. Haaland, that is a disgraceful miss. You're talking about
You're talking about one of the most feared strikers in world football, and he totally flutters lines. I mean, misses a penalty. I'm telling him, if it was me, if I had the choice, I'd go get rid of him. He can't turn up in the major games. Why are you here? Back to you, Jeff.
I mean,
hello.
Imagine. No, I was just thinking. What happens if someone's just tuned into United View and they're thinking, I wonder what happened on the press conference, and they just saw me, you're sitting here in silence, and KG's doing the high-pitched voice, which apparently is Jamie Carragher.
The high-pitched pundit. It's the high-pitched pundit. He's not really Jamie Carragher, he's just the high-pitched pundit. Anyway, damn, I don't even know what I'm saying to you, mate. But you're happy with Ten Hag's presser, though? Are we happy?
I am happy. I am happy with what he said. We've got players back in tomorrow. Rashford travelled. Sabitzer travelled. Luke Shaw travelled. Terrell Malacia travelled. So it's good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to let you get back on with the show, but I just thought it'd be a cross-pollination.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You never know.
Yeah.
On the people that are watching right now, go check out KG's channel, KG That Comedian.
Yeah.
KG That Comedian. Check out how he's doing his hate along right now. You can go and watch last night's
You missed the talent show. You missed the talent show.
I heard.
It was.
I heard. I was getting comments in it. I think people are just. Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
What's wrong? Ball in. Wait. Oh, drops the shoulder. He's in the box. Where to? Oh my friggins. No. Come on, man. That's what he was reacting to, innit? He was reacting to that.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Maguire.
I'll hold on until. Yeah, and I'll hold on till you see where this is heading.
I've just seen it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. I mean,
Upamecano is just, he's just can't stand him. He can't. Look at this. It went from this moment. It went from an attack on goal.
Look at it.
To a John Stones.
It's just
The
spirit
of Maguire.
Spirit of Phil Jones. It's not even Harry. It's Phil Jones.
This is Maguire.
It's Phil Jones said. It's Phil Jones. Look at Phil Jones has done that kind of thing, and then he clears it with his head.
Upper Staffy. At the top level.
You know what I mean? It's just.
Oh man, he's done shush. He's told them to shush. The Dortmund play. Tuchel should rush him. Tuchel should beat him up.
Yeah.
I feel for that guy.
Yeah.
Upamecano, turn off your notifications, bro.
Yeah.
And that's not even like you expect. You can't even. You're not even to condone anything like that. But he's gonna get it. He's gonna Jesus.
So, someone in the comments has just gone, Joe Blackman. This has turned into a watch along. Apologies, Joe. Yeah, I've got to get back to work, Katie.
All right, cool. Sorry. All right, bro.
I'll call you in a bit. Yeah, I'll call you in a bit.
See you later.
See you in a bit. There you go. Little cameo from one KG, that comedian. Next question, by the way, guys. Next question was the David De Gea question. I got infected by hate. I was I turned into hate. Next question was David De Gea's. The question about David De Gea posed by our very own Fleck. Here is Fleck's question. Here is Erik ten Hag's response.
We've seen some reports of David potentially getting a new deal at the club to stay on. What do you think his best attributes are as a keeper, and what are the most important attributes for a goalkeeper to have?
Stopping goals. Avoid goals. That is the main job from a goalkeeper. And you can do it in many more ways. Everyone has his own particular style, and nowadays also in possession is become more and more important. Especially, I think, on top levels, because then you take control. It's more difficult for an opponent to get pressure on an opponent, and so you concede less chances. But in the end of the day, it's about stopping goals. So stopping shots, stopping crosses, stopping one-on-ones, etc. So that is like more the classic goalkeeper. And I think David is a really multifunctional and a really complete goalkeeper. And so we are very happy with that.
I think, David, look at it, KG. You're right, KG. That was my reaction too. Oh, look at that. That was my reaction. When I saw the quote, that was my reaction straight away. Oh my goodness me. Yes, David is a multifunctional, complete goalkeeper. He can do everything. But what's the most important job of a goalkeeper? Stopping shots, stopping goals. Now, we did see Flex nodding, but also I think Flex's reaction was kind of like this. Yeah, that was my reaction too, Fleck. We've got a bit of another Fleck reaction to it, actually. Yeah, that was my reaction too as well, Fleck. Oh, yeah. Ain't that right, Eric? Yeah, I agree, Eric. Certainly, yeah. It was absolutely fantastic what he said, because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's what we've been saying so often. What is a goalie's job? To make saves. Call us crazy. Call us insane. Make saves. Stop the ball from going in the back of the net. Now, obviously, people are going, oh, he's lying. He's lying. No, he's lying. What's he supposed to say? All that kind of stuff. A goalkeeper is meant to make saves. A goalkeeper is meant to stop the ball from going in the net. David De Gea is a complete goalkeeper, according to Erik ten Hag. David De Gea is going to sign a new contract at Manchester United. And for all those people going, well, get rid of David De Gea, do this, do that, but I'm going to back the manager. Well, here you go. You're going to have to back the manager, back the decision. And I've already seen some people going, oh, well, Eric, what's he supposed... No. That's... He said it himself. From the horse's mouth. Not the horse, from the manager's mouth. David De Gea is a complete goalkeeper. And it's about making saves. So for all of those people that are out there, Marcel, I saw you this morning on Red Room. It was kind of crazy. But to be fair, what do you expect from a ghost? Because he was calling in from the afterlife, apparently. So his kind of opinions on David De Gea were kind of haunting, really, this morning. Frankly, I was going to call Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Very much Ghostbuster settings. I was going to, all that kind of. I was going to shock him. That's what I was going to do. David De Gea said it. That's what a goalkeeper's about. Now, the follow-up question from our very own Fleck was to Christian Eriksen about playing with Marcel Sabitzer. Of course, they haven't really done that. And also, Sabitzer was really brought in as a replacement for Eriksen whilst Eriksen was injured. So here's Fleck's question to Eriksen about Sabitzer.
Quick one for Christian. Everybody's talking about how you've played so well with Bruno and Casemiro, but Sabitzer has done really well as well. Are you looking forward to forming a relationship with him also? And are you looking to be as adaptable as Bruno was in your absence, maybe playing further up the pitch and doing different roles?
Well, I'll leave the roles to the guy next to me to choose with roles. No, like you said, Marcel has done unbelievable while I've been away. And I think it's like before, everyone tried to do their job, tried to fit in best possible. Even Fred. Even Scott when he was playing. I mean, I've played with all of them. I think the fewest sessions I've had is probably with Marcel because he came after I was injured, so I've only trained a few times with Marcel. But no,
He's a very good player indeed, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play alongside each other tomorrow. Old Marcel, like I know him, Marcel Sabitzer and Christian Eriksen, because as I mentioned, Sabitzer's move was really the catalyst behind it was Eriksen's injury. So that's going to be really interesting to see them playing together tomorrow. I did miss a super chat as well from Lil Tory, aka Owen Style Advisor. What a great account. Says, my boy goes live, I leave KG. Big love as always. Look at that. Look at that. The supporters, the Owen Supporters Club, only one member. Only one member, my style advisor Lil Tory, who people think is me, by the way. That's not me. That is not me. I'm not sending in super chats whilst I'm live. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm not paying for it. I'm putting them in the comments under my burner accounts. Yeah, that's actually what I'm doing. I'm not, by the way. Sarcasm doesn't really translate on the internet. I'm not. You know, if that's a lie, Eric, give me a thumbs up. Damn it. Eric, you've let me down. Next question was to Ten Hag, and it was about Anthony. Anthony got into some battles at Old Trafford in the second half against Sevilla, and he had said in the previous press conference that maybe that helped Sevilla get back into the game, and the question was put to Ten Hag, have you had a conversation with your players not to get involved in those kind of scuffles, not to allow the crowd to get kind of involved because you're getting into those battles with the players? Here's what Ten Hag had to say.
But I said there's also in the development of our team, we have to emotion. Yeah, you have to use it as a tool, but you have to control it as well. You have to put it in the right moment. So the timing from that is important, and that is in big games especially. You have to know when you use it and when definitely not. And so in general, I make that point, and last week we did as well. So focus on the game. Focus about playing the best game you can as a team and as an individual.
Focus on the game and focus on putting the best performance in that you can. Certainly, that's key. And particularly away from home, it's key. And look, if we're in a situation where we're 2-0 up, like Ten Hag said last week, you kind of got an insight of how he would have been speaking to Anthony, where he was basically saying, what are you doing? Don't bother. They're not in the game. And we've seen how much it can adversely affect the game. Look at Arsenal a couple of weeks ago at Anfield. That flashpoint between Xhaka and Trent was listed as a bit of a catalyst for Liverpool getting back in the game. How much I believe in that, I don't really know. But at the same time, he's right. In these European occasions away from home, you've got to manage it. You've got to manage the occasion, manage the crowd, and manage your emotions as well. Now, the next question was a Spanish question. I don't speak Spanish, so I have no idea what the question was. But it was an interesting response from both Ten Hag and Eriksen. Here's what they both said.
Answer first?
Yeah, first question was
first question. I think to be right, I don't remember the second question. What was the first one exactly? What's the first?
I don't even.
Only heard half. Sorry.
What do you fear about Sevilla?
Fear. Sorry. What do we fear? I mean, it's we let them in the game. I think the first game, I think we had good control in the first 1 hour of the game. But fear from them, I mean, they of course have a lot of different coaches in this season, which we've seen. But now they're starting to win games and being a bit of a safer spot. So yeah, that's what we feel. I mean, they're very direct. They're in good shape. They have some very good players and some very good individually players. So yeah, I feel a bit of everything.
Yes, yes. I think we are defensively. We are good. Well, we have, I think, the most clean sheets in the Premier League. So our organization, I think, is all over the pitch. Is quite good. And attacking, yeah, we should have scored more goals, during the whole season. But yeah, I'm confident. And you see the last couple of games, especially when we have all the players on board, then we score every game. And so I'm confident we can do that tomorrow.
Indeed, I'm confident we can do it as well. Eric, I agree with you. If you agree with me back, give me a thumbs up. I've kind of rinsed this joke quite a lot, but I just really like the GIF. I don't really know why I decided to do those GIFs. Why did I decide to do them? Oh, it was because, yeah, I saw the De Gea quotes and I wanted to have Flex and Cage's reaction. You know, I wanted to have a bit of that. Yes, how fun they are so fun. Aren't they? Final question was to Christian Eriksen. Obviously, he's come back from the injury, but that injury was because of a tackle by Andy Carroll, Reading's Andy Carroll, and he didn't even get booked for it. He didn't even get a booking, no red card, and the question was put to Eriksen. Were you surprised to see Carroll not get booked or even a red card? Here is Eriksen's response.
Yeah, I think I was surprised he didn't get a yellow, but yeah, at the time I didn't think it was as bad. So no, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't fear for the season. No, I was more concerned when I'm going to be back. It wasn't fear for end of the season, and luckily the medical staff has done very well and kept me in good shape. Also, like you see, coming back and like you all guys said, like I never left. So it's positive for the medical staff.
Positive for the medical staff. Positive that certainly Christian Eriksen is back, but the fact that he never got booked was ridiculous. Andy Carroll could have got a red. Where's the card? Disgrace and a cheat, certainly. But there you go. That's the press conference. If you wish to watch it without my ramblings and KG's phone calls and all that kind of madness in between, the full press conference is up on the channel now, so you can check it out. Flex's question is also in that press conference, but also if you just want to see Flex's question, that's in a separate video too. So it's all going on here at United View. Tomorrow, of course, it's match day. Match day, we've got obviously the match view, fan views. Flex is out there in Seville for the game, so he's going to have all of his reaction. There's a match preview as well coming soon, I believe this evening, if it's not already up, so be sure to check that out as well. UV delivering that top tier content as always, so be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Do we want any more gifts before we go? Of course we do. We want a thumbs up from Eric if we're going to win. There you go. Do we want a shocked KG if we're going to win? There you go. The shock. So there you go, guys. If you haven't already, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.